video, I'm going to talk about how to write a song. I have been writing music since I was 13 years old, and it's truly one of my favorite things to do. My personal philosophy is that if you're living, if you're breathing, you should know how to write a song, or at least do it just once in your life. Songwriting is so good for so many different reasons. Number one, it's very therapeutic, especially if you're writing about yourself and you can put your emotion into it, you can sort through your thoughts. It can be really healing for a lot of different things. Number two, songwriting is very intelligent. To be able to do it well is a really awesome skill that doesn't just come naturally. You have to learn it. I mean, there are people out there who are just like perfect right off the bat, but most of us aren't those people. It took me forever to write a really good song. And number three, it's just really fun. And yeah, those are my reasons. So when I first learned how to write a song, I learned it in a very systematic way. It was like, do this, then do this, then do this, and there you go, boom, you have a song. And because I really understood how to write a basic song in a basic way, I feel like now I've been able to branch off and go outside of the box and not follow the rules. And that's what makes like a really great song, is when you take something and make it your own. But I would not be able to do that without first knowing the basis and the foundation of how a song is even written. The first thing to know about a song is that it generally goes like this: verse, pre-chorus, chorus, second verse, second pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus. You want a verse to kind of open up a song and give it some context so that people can kind of know what to expect later on in the song. The pre-chorus should build to the chorus. You usually do that just by switching the chords and doing chords that kind of provide more of like a rising sound. And then the actual chorus is supposed to be the most catchy, melodic part of the song, the part that everyone will be like humming to themselves. Then you repeat that, and then a bridge is kind of like a whole different song. Like, yes, it's still in the same key and still within the same theme, but generally the melody is very different from the rest of the song, and that's what makes it like cool and set apart. The first thing I picked up when I was first trying to write a song was that there are very basic chords that you can use to literally play any song. Understanding these chords and how they sound and how to use them within a song and just how to play them gives you so much freedom. You could literally write 100 songs just by using these chords. Also, if you're wondering if I can play this banjo, no, I cannot, and I need to learn. So each one of these notes has its own scale. The C scale is the easiest because it only uses white keys, whereas every other scale has a couple black keys thrown in there, and so it just kind of gets more complicated. The C scale is from C to the next C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. So the very basic chords that you need to know to write any song are C, F, A minor, and G. So again, it's C, F, A minor, and G. So when I begin a song, generally I like to have an idea roughly of what it's going to be about, whether that's a person, a feeling, a story / experience. That way I have some sort of direction, because if you just go to the piano and it's like, okay, now what am I gonna say? I find that the easiest thing is to write about a person, because that's literally how humans are created. Like, I feel like the most important thing to us is our relationship to another person. So the cool thing about learning the chords in C is that you can do them in any order depending on what you like and what sound you're going for. So like, I could do A minor, G, F. That sounds cool. Or I could do F, A minor, G. So for my song that I'm writing, it's already written, but it's fine. I'm gonna do A minor, G, F. Don't mind this, I'm currently in my closet. This is where I keep my piano because of the sound. Okay, so that's gonna be my chord progression for my verse. I personally use my phone to write all of my lyrics because I find that writing on paper is so inefficient because you have to erase things. It also takes forever. And for this song, when I first wrote it, I was thinking about a specific person that I was dating at the time. Very classic, I know. One of the hardest parts is starting, because there's so many things that you can say when you haven't said anything yet. You might want to open your song with something very direct, like, you hurt my feelings, yeah. And while you're learning how to write a song, it's okay to be super direct and on the nose about what it is you're trying to say, because later on you can get more like poetic and those kinds of things. Most times when I have a song, I already have some lyric ideas that I've jotted down in the car or whenever, and so a lot of times I don't start a song from nothing because I find that really hard. But if that's you right now, I would honestly just go into your head, think about your 5 senses. Think about touch, taste, sound, smell, and sight. Think about this person or situation that you were in and just start to describe it in those very descriptive ways. Like, what did you see? How did that make you feel? Ask yourself those kinds of questions and start just jotting down everything, even if it's not a full sentence, even if it's just like, the pink couch was great. I don't know. I hope I'm explaining this well. Start to just jot down everything that comes to mind. Work it into a sentence, a complete sentence. Then is the fun part. Once you have a couple line ideas for your opening line, you start to come up with a melody. So I just play my chords like this over and over, and I just hum to myself, and sometimes I will literally hum out of key, because I think this part is really important to be very experimental. This is the hard part about when you're writing with someone else, is that sometimes you don't sound very good, and that's a little bit embarrassing, but it's okay. You have to be willing to see where your voice wants to go, and if it sounds bad, it sounds bad. I'm gonna turn down my volume a little bit. I use voice memos to record while I'm doing this process because it's very handy, because a lot of times you'll do a melody and then literally not remember it 2 seconds later, and so it's really important to record what you're doing so that you can go back and listen if you like it. For my melody, for my song, I'm gonna go with this melody. Personally like coming up with lyrics the absolute most. I think that it's the best part because it's the communicative part about the whole thing. You're literally getting to say something. You're literally getting to like speak something into existence. And I just think that's so like amazing. It also just kind of feels like whatever you put in a song exists forever, and therefore it like gives meaning to like you and the situation that you're trying to talk about. Like, because it's gonna be in a song, it matters so much more. And that's like why I love songwriting so much. If this situation were to happen and then never be spoken about again or never be turned into something beautiful, then like, what's the point? The solitude in nights like this, and truth comes out from painful silences. Childhood faded too soon, and I know that I keep running to you. For the melody of your verse, you start with your first line that you came up with, and then you either want the next line to match it exactly, or you want it to be a little bit different. So in my song, the one that I just showed y'all, it starts with the melody line and then the next one is different. But then the third line is the same as the first line, and the fourth line is the same as the second. But a very common thing to do also is to have the first, second, and fourth line matching and have that third line a little bit different. Also, for the lines that are going to match each other melody-wise, they have to match syllable-wise. So bring back the clapping that we learned in school. I actually don't clap. I go like this. It's easier. There's solitude in nights like this, and truth comes out from painful silence. And then a second line, and then my third line, childhood faded too soon. Oop, I didn't actually match those. Okay, well, guess I don't know how to actually write a song. But to wrap up the verse section, you basically want your melody to be repetitive, but not too repetitive. And you want the melody of your matching line to also have the same syllable count. Because if the syllables are off, you'll end up having to sort of change the melody a little bit. And that doesn't create a tune in someone's head where they can kind of like catch on and start to realize like, okay, this is the melody. It's not singable without the syllables matching at least a little bit. So for example, in my song, having one syllable off isn't that huge of a deal, but if you have like 5, it will affect the melody. So for a pre-chorus, you'll definitely want to switch up the chords to kind of give it a different feeling. A really good pre-chorus sound could be A minor, F, and then G, because ending on G kind of sounds like incomplete almost, like it's not its own section that finishes itself. It has to lead into something else, and that's the purpose of a pre-chorus. So I find choruses the hardest to write because there's the most pressure. It has to kind of be, in most cases, the biggest part of the song and the most melodic. Writing melodies is not my spiritual gift. I'm definitely a lyric writer. I've always been a writer in some sense, and so I know how to turn like feelings into words really well, but melodies don't come as naturally to me, and so writing a chorus can be tricky if you're like me. Most times a chorus will start on the C major, the 1 chord. It kind of just gives you this like ready to go, like, I don't know, this feeling of like, don't know how to explain it. Understanding what a chorus should sound like comes with like intently listening to music and writing a lot of bad choruses. So I don't have too much to say about writing a chorus because I do think that that's one of those things that comes with understanding chords and understanding how you like to write your lyrics. This is the chorus for my song. There are colors of my past in the air as I weep in your arms, you know I care. Tears fall delicately, innocence in my fertility. A lot of times choruses will have a tagline, so when I do the tears fall delicately, that is a tagline, so it's different from the chorus, but it still complements the chorus and kind of helps bring the chorus down a little bit. It's also the exact same chords from my verse, so it kind of brings in some familiarity. It just kind of ties the song all together. Also, lyrically ties the song all together. What's also cool to know is that you can play those exact same chords on ukulele for so easy, also for cheap. Ukuleles are cheap. And this is cool because if you just write a song on the piano and also own a ukulele, you can instantly play it on ukulele for a different feel. Switching for me from one instrument to another while writing a song is the absolute chef's kiss to writing a good melody because it switches the vibe. You're limited on piano by its vibe and its sound, but moving it onto guitar or ukulele and hearing that can kind of give you a new perspective. Innocence in my fertility. Okay, so ignore the fact that that doesn't sound quite right because it's ukulele and the song is very much not ukulele vibes. So to kind of wrap it up, start with your concept, figure out your melody, let the song build but not run astray from the original concept, and have fun. That's literally it. I challenge you, go write a song. It's so fun. And I think that even non-musicians will realize that there's such an art to it and that it really is so cool. It's kind of like just baking a pie. Like, you're not baking because you're trying to be a professional baker, you're baking because you want to eat a sweet treat. Write a song because it helps you tap into your feelings and it makes you a better person.